What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Smarter? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do you go? DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote. And maybe you can have me at your next event. And if you'd like to tell your story, I encourage you to check out my other podcast, What Makes You Famous. Find it everywhere using the hashtag What Makes You Famous. What makes you smarter? And learn with me right here on the program.
Now, on with the show. Today on the program, trivia. Why do the sayings slim chance and fat chance seem to have the same meaning? Fat is the opposite of slim, don't I know it? So how is it that if there's a slim chance of something happening, it seems just as likely as something with a fat chance? Which chance came first, the fat one or the slim? Does the size of the chance have an effect on the probability of the outcome? Well, as you might have guessed, sarcasm played a role in the etymological evolution of these two phrases. The original unlikely scenario, the phrase slim chance, is quite a bit older than fat chance. According to Google's Ngram Viewer, the first instances of slim chance being written in books were in the 1740s. Fat chance appeared in newspaper reports in the late 19th century, but in the context of there being a large or sizable chance of an event occurring, the more sarcastic read or intonation of the phrase began appearing around 1900. It's pretty intuitive to see where slim chance comes from. The margin of success is considered small or narrow. You know, slim, but just because whatever it seems unlikely, that doesn't mean it's impossible. Slim chance does leave some room for possibility. You mean there's a chance? Imagine that your coworker says, quote, "There's a slim chance we could meet on Monday, but Wednesday looks much better," end quote. A Monday meeting might not look good, but it shouldn't be ruled out. There's still a small chance it could happen. It's a matter of irony, enjoying sarcasm as we do. Yeah, we sure do. Of course, people became snarky when implying that something likely wasn't going to happen. Instead of using the more reasonable slim chance, ironically saying fat chance added some extra sardonic bite to their expression. On the down road, the two sayings became more or less interchangeable for a situation having low probability. Typically, fat chance is used only in informal settings. Slim chance remains the more appropriate, agreeable phrase, especially in news or written reports. But Keys Dan, the two phrases don't really mean the same thing. While they're frequently used interchangeably in speech, the two sayings don't actually share a meaning. It seems like fat chance has a somewhat lower probability, almost impossible compared to slim chance. Slim chance leaves some possibility. Chances are small, but it could happen. Sometimes slim chance is even used optimistically or to encourage. If your sports team is losing in the big game, you might reassure your friends, don't give up yet. There's still a slim chance that they could pull this off. Fat chance leaves essentially no possibility and is almost always used negatively. If your ex asked you out on a date after a rough breakup, you might reply, "You think we should get back together?" Fat chance of that happening. That date isn't going to happen. There's absolutely no chance, but you wanted to say it with some extra oomph. But when do I use which phrase? When to use which phrase? If writing a professional paper or talking to a work colleague, you probably want to stick with Slim Chance. It's nicer and not as absolute. The phrase Slim Chance is also more commonly found in print due to its more professional tone. It's also the only proper phrase when referring to a situation that could actually happen. If there's absolutely zero probability of something happening, fat chance is the more accurate term. If you're around your friends or in an informal setting, go ahead and use the sarcastic fat chance. It's also great for when you need some extra emphasis on how impossible a situation is. These days, fat chance is basically synonymous with never ever. That's a little bit about the contrast between Slim Chance and Fat Chance. Which one do you prefer? Drop it in the comments below. This has been What Makes You Smarter. By the way, if you'd like to tell your story, I encourage you to check out my other podcast, What Makes You Famous. Find it everywhere using the hashtag What Makes You Famous. That's it for me. It's Keys Dan, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.
If you like what you hear, I encourage you to follow What Makes You Smarter on social media. Find it on Facebook at What Makes You Smarter, Instagram at What Makes You Smarter, Twitter at SmarterWhat, and YouTube. Username Keys Dan. Leave What Makes You Smarter podcast a review and subscribe. Listen to What Makes You Smarter podcast on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and Podcast Addict. My personal favorite, learn with me on my podcast, What Makes You Smarter. And if you'd like to tell your story, I encourage you to check out my other podcast, What Makes You Famous. Find it everywhere using the hashtag, What Makes You Famous. Call 501-470-6386 and leave a message to set up a time for What Makes You Famous. Support What Makes You Smarter podcast using the PayPal, paypal.me/Keys Dan. Email info@radiowhat.com. What Makes You Smarter is a production of Keys Dan Enterprises Incorporated at keysdan.com. Thank you for listening.